joining us to talk about Zenefits and what they're doing is Bud Boland, the benefit advisor of Zenefits. Bud, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, great to have you here. You're coming to us from Arizona today, right? Is that where you are?
I'm coming from downtown Tempe, Arizona.
Yeah, well, great to have you here, my friend. Give our audience a little backgrounder on Zenefits. I talk about them a lot. I hear them a lot when I talk to a lot of broker groups out there and other groups. But give us a backgrounder on Zenefits and then kind of yourself, because you've got a very unique footprint as a longtime leading broker and what you're doing with Zenefits as a benefit advisor and also as a teacher at Zenefits U.
Sure. Zenefits is a technology company. We have developed an HR software platform that's being used by about 10,000 businesses nationally. The biggest plus about it is it's absolutely free, and it enables the HR function within many small businesses to be reduced and to be consolidated, and it's easy. It's awesome from the standpoint of business owners to utilize it, and it's paperless.
And Bud, what's the sweet spot? Employers with 200 to 500 employees, is that kind of your sweet spot?
We look at 2 to 1,000, but quite honestly, the majority of our clientele, we probably, of those 10,000, the average number of employees is probably 20. We have groups up into the 1,000, but most of them are less than 50 lives, and that seems to be our sweet spot. As far as me personally, I'm convinced I'm the oldest guy working for Zenefits. My daughter brought home a request to her dad saying, I'm thinking about changing jobs. I'm thinking about interviewing for a new company called Zenefits. Can you do some background for me and help me out? I started looking at it. I did my due diligence. The last thing I did was went on the Zenefits website, and I started looking at some of the job description, and I thought, oh, my God, they must have had me in the room when they were writing some of these out. So long story short, I submitted my 14-line resume that I hadn't had one in 30 years, and lo and behold, they hired me. So it's been absolutely fascinating and the funnest job I've ever had in my career.
You know, Bud, like I said, I talk to a lot of broker groups across the country, and you can't get out of a discussion without Zenefits coming up, because you've come head at the broker community really initially to disintermediate them. But tell us the current thinking at Zenefits and, what you guys are doing to maybe work with, brokers and their clients, et cetera. So what is kind of the current game plan?
The professional approach of Zenefits is to make HR and benefits administration easier for the small business person. And basically what that's going to do is drive out the casual broker, the casual street broker that may have 1 to a dozen business clients, and that's not a real expert on anything but a generalist. Zenefits has been so successful in accumulating some of the most knowledgeable benefit advisors, support people, and consequently, there's really no competition from that standpoint with those brokers in the street. We have such a huge initiative going forward with the talent we have and the way that the product is designed, the hub and spoke wheel of benefits, that we're doing very well. We're very comfortable in assuming that role. From a personal standpoint, for 35 years, I was so hoping that at some point in time, someone would come up with an idea to consolidate all of the frustrating, paper-oriented systems for onboarding employees, for offboarding, and now with the advent of the ACA, for compliance issues. Before ACA, it was HIPAA, ERISA, all those things that we had to keep up with. Now ACA compliance is a huge concern.
What's the significance of the recent partnership with NAHU?
We are very excited about that. Personally, I'm a previous state NAHU president and a national trustee with them from back in the 80s. There's really two reasons why, and I'm pleased that Zenefits has stepped forward and said we encourage and want all of our licensed brokers to be members of NAHU. Number one, from a personal standpoint, it gives me additional avenues to improve my craft and to gain certifications and more knowledge in areas that may or may not be available within Zenefits University that you mentioned earlier. The other thing is it gives us a national voice. NAHU is very involved in D.C. on issues that affect all small business members, and it gives us a voice there. So I'm very pleased with that. We're very excited about it, and we intend to be very active participants nationally in that process.
So if I'm a broker, kind of on the fence whether I want to remain in the game or not, what I'm hearing you say is Zenefits can keep me in the game. I can join the Zenefits team and stay in the game and even grow. Is that am I hearing you correctly there?
The Zenefits is always looking for good, qualified, experienced street brokers. I'm so fortunate to be a part of a group that I am so envious of from the standpoint that 10 years is really the low end on experience as far as our broker advisors that we have here, our benefits advisors that we have. Most of them are experienced street brokers, or they come from carriers or different aspects of the business. But it's an extraordinary group. We've literally got hundreds of brokers within the company. So, sure, if an experienced broker is out there thinking, hey, I want to make a career change and so forth, have him contact the recruiters. I don't know what we're advertising for right now as far as recruiting, but I'm sure there are opportunities over the next few months coming up for adding to those groups.
Hey, Bud, we're at the, there's not enough time to talk about this. We'll have to engage and have you and maybe some other members of your team on. We're about 50 seconds away from the end of this program, and I want to give you a chance to kind of close it up, tell people how they can get in touch with Zenefits, and leave us with some parting thoughts.
By all means, if any small business members out there, if you've got from 2 to 1,000 employees, contact Zenefits for a demo of our software. As I mentioned earlier, it's free, and trust me, you will be amazed at the time savings and money and reduction in your workloads by looking at the Zenefits tool. We're very excited to bring the product, and it's a huge wave. It's a rocket ship that we're hanging on to, and the growth has just been phenomenal. We're licensed in all 50 states. So,
hey, Bud, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you.